Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
Why there's a decline of donations to the Edmonton Food Bank.
In April of 2020, most food banks saw a significant dip in usage.
How the reduced bus schedule may affect you.
And now I have to walk 10 minutes to get to work.
And what Housing Month means for those in need.
The need for affordable housing has increased drastically since the pandemic.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. Food Banks Canada has released its latest annual report.
The findings reveal a surge in demand that hasn't been seen since the 2008 recession. Our Stephanie Swensrud joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
Thanks, guys. Overall, since 2019, food banks across the country have been seeing a surge in demand. But it's not as simple as COVID-19 equals food insecurity. It's a lot more complex than that. But before we get into the why, let's take a trip to Rogers Place.
Imagine you're Connor McDavid, center ice, looking out at your fans. The arena would be overflowing if it was filled with the folks who need Edmonton's food bank every month. Up to 28,000 people, and that number is only going up.
There are always new people, but we are seeing those that are need help reaching out a little bit more each month.
Alberta saw a nearly 30% increase in food bank use since 2019, but that line didn't go straight up.
So as an example, in April of 2020, most food banks saw a significant dip in usage due to the creation of the CERB and those different COVID response supports that came out.
Most reports cite three main reasons for the increase in food bank use right now: food cost inflation, rising housing costs, and reduced income, whether that's from job loss or loss of benefits.
Meanwhile, at NAIT's food centre, they've been seeing an increase in need overall since opening in 2015, but COVID didn't really cause a rise.
We have, just with COVID, things have been a little bit slower, of course. It probably is a combination of things, but for sure the traffic on campus is a lot lower.
So as you can see, it's a perfect storm of factors that is contributing to this rise in food bank use.
Is the Edmonton Food Bank expecting an increase in usage during the holidays?
You know, Marco, that's actually a very common misconception that food banks get busier during the holidays. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, people donate more because they're in that festive giving mood. But no, the demand for food banks stays the same year round.
If someone needs food, how do they go about contacting these organizations?
So for Edmonton's food bank, they can call them and they will be set up with a hamper. But if someone would prefer to use NAIT's food center, they can go online, request their hamper, and they'll have that turned around in about one business day.
Thanks, Stephanie. That's Stephanie Swensrud reporting live from our news center.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
November is Housing Month, and with it, the City of Edmonton is encouraging people to get involved. Before the pandemic, Edmonton had 50,000 households in need of financial help. Since COVID, that number has drastically increased. To help, the City of Edmonton has provided 25% of the construction cost towards new affordable housing developments. They're also developing surplus school sites into affordable housing.
So the city's aspiration is to build affordable housing in all neighborhoods of the city of Edmonton. Our aspiration is 16% of the affordable housing units for each neighborhoods in the city.
To support affordable housing in Edmonton, go to housingmonth.ca to find a list of charitable organizations accepting donations.
Inflation is rising, and students are some of the most vulnerable to its impact. Luckily, there are ways to lessen its effect. NAIT's has several supports for students in need.
Our biggest ones is our NAIT's Food Center, which provides 3 to 5 days worth of food to students, and students can get a hamper twice a month.
NAIT's is always accepting food donations for the Student Food Bank. The NAIT's Food Hamper is available to any student. It can be accessed anonymously via the NAIT's live chat from the comfort of your home. You can also reduce the effect inflation has on you by investing any savings you have.
Never keep your money in your pocket, to make it simple. So in your pocket or in your bank account, because inflation is eating up the purchasing power of your money. Try to invest in something that is growing with the economy.
With the increase in inflation, students will see a rise in the cost of textbooks, tuition, and food. With inflation comes an increase of interest rates, making student loans more expensive. If you're a NAIT student and you're struggling, reach out to NAITSA at naitsa.ca.
If you're someone who takes the bus to get around, it's possible that your travel schedule has made some changes this week. Since November 1st, the city's bus service frequency has been reduced by about 3%. This temporary measure comes from adjustments being made for 15 bus drivers failing to comply with the city's vaccination policy. Some people are noticing the difference in their travel time to their destinations.
It used to drop me off right in front of my work, and now I have to walk 10 minutes to get to work.
Now I have to walk further to get to a different bus, and I have to search up the routes more often. And when I get used to the old routes, then I have to figure out new routes.
The city recommends using their Trip Planner app to coordinate your day-to-day commute, as it will have the updated times for the affected routes. Coming up after the break, we'll cover some exciting sports news.
And what you can expect for weather this weekend.
Coming up in sports, you guys are finally allowed to attend NAIT sporting events. As well, we look forward to seeing how well the NAIT men's soccer team does at Nationals. The women's basketball team has had a strong preseason start, and with one more game, they also are looking forward to the regular season. The Edmonton Elks have acquired a new player at QB to hopefully have a strong finish to their season. All that and more coming up in sports.
Coming up next, will you be able to wear a bathing suit this weekend? Or is it all just wishful thinking? Stay tuned to find out.
In 2020, November 8th was the day of the first snowfall. But with the warm weekend ahead of us, it's looking like we'll set a new record.
That's exciting. Our weatherman, Rue Baker, is here to tell us more.
Thanks, guys. It is going to be a warm weekend, and with clocks going back an hour on Sunday, it's going to be a really good time to put up some Christmas decorations. In Calgary, we have on Saturday, it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud with a morning low of 0 and an afternoon high of 7. Out in Jasper, it's going to be a high of 4 and a low of -4. In Fort McMurray, it's going to be a high of 1 and a low of -2. And back home in Edmonton, it's going to be a high of 7 and a low of -3. The averages are going to be 3 and -6. And the record is 17 in 1923 and a record low of -31 in 1919. Would not want to be those guys. That's all for me. Enjoy the warm start to November, and back to you.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Those that have become used to the spacious halls and extra seating here at NAIT are soon going to be seeing those luxuries go away. These now empty hallways will be filled with students this coming Monday. These students will be making their return to in-person classes from the hybrid format they've been taking. While the students already in person will have to adjust on the fly, NAIT's Fresh Express has been getting ahead of the game.
Obviously, yeah, we've been adjusting our prep levels, and we're definitely set up to handle the influx of students. We've noticed numbers have definitely increased over the last, for sure the last month.
Among the programs coming back will be the J.R. Shaw School of Business, one of the largest faculties at NAIT. While some NAIT Ooks team seasons are finishing up, others are just beginning.
That's right, and fans will be able to attend Ooks regular season games once again. With more on that, here's Thomas Wildman.
It took a petition with over 8,000 signatures, but finally, after nearly 19 months, fans are finally back in the gyms and stadiums at NAIT. Crowds have been a mainstay with Ooks for decades. Home teams feed off the energy when fans and loved ones are at their games. The ACAC made the decision to allow fans at games once again. NAIT allowed their first fans in last weekend and planned to have a big turnout for the home openers of hockey, volleyball, and basketball.
Decision came down from the ACAC because restrictions have been changing all over the place, and they decided that they wanted to give the athletes the full college experience, so fans are now allowed back. We're doing an eased approach right now with the NAIT, so right now you can come. We're not promoting games, but starting for our home opener on November 12th for the arena, and then the home opener on November 19th for the gym, will be open full-fledged for fans, and we'll also be promoting those.
All attendees will need to be vaccinated and be masked at all times while attending the games. The preseason for the NAIT women's basketball team has been excellent, posting an impressive 6-1 record this preseason. The Ooks' final preseason game will be one more match against the Concordia Thunder. While the Ooks have not yet lost to the Thunder, that doesn't mean they will be practicing any less. Head coach Todd Warnick says that each game has been as important as the last for the Ooks this year.
Preseason is always an interesting process to try and figure ourselves out, and really that's been the approach. Each and every game has been less about who we play and more about what we are looking for as a team to get better at each and every time.
The Ooks women's first regular season game will be against the University of Alberta Augustana Vikings. This past weekend, both the men and women's Ooks soccer teams competed for the ACAC championships against the St. Trojans. Here in Edmonton, the men had a close game, but the visiting Trojans came away with a 3-2 victory. For the women's, the Ooks were shut down on offense by the Trojans, and which led to the Trojans capturing the victory at home. However, the NAIT Ooks men's team season isn't finished yet, as they are going to be competing for a CCA men's soccer championship.
It feels great. It's been our goal since the beginning of the season, since last year. We've been preparing, so I feel ready, the team feels ready. And you're ready to compete against whoever comes in against us. We're gonna go hard, we're gonna go strong, and we're ready to go.
The CCAA Men's Soccer Championships will take place in Calgary from November 8th to 13th. The Elks have had their struggles this year and are looking forward to next year with their new acquisition. The Toronto Argonauts traded Nick Arbuckle to the Elks for a pick and a potential QB prospect. Arbuckle has started 7 games for the Argonauts this season. The 28-year-old is most well known for his 2019 season with the Calgary Stampeders, where he posted 11 touchdowns while backing up for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Just trying to do my part and play my role to help this team win, whatever it is. And, right now that's learning the offense, taking mental reps, and offering any kind of, experience and wisdom that I've learned for playing these teams and playing Saskatchewan that I can for Taylor to help him be successful.
Taylor Cornelius will get the start tonight against the Saskatchewan Roughriders so that Arbuckle is not rushed into being the QB.
So Thomas, what does it cost to go to an Ooks game?
Well, Blake, you'll be happy to know that all staff and students at NAIT will be able to go to games free of charge as long as they present their NAIT ID card. For people who are not NAIT students, they will have to pay $10 if they're over the age of 18 as adults and $5 if they're under the age of 17.
Now, I'm curious, is there a season pass available, Thomas?
Yes, Marco, there actually is a season pass available. It's $50, and with that, you will be able to attend all of the games. Well, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to go off and now watch the Elks game.
Coming up after the break, we'll find out why people aren't shaving for the month of November.
And some fun things to do this weekend.
November really is for everyone.
Coming up in entertainment, what's going on with these igloos? Plus, your transit travels may be a little bit more artsy. And what's happening at Festival Place? And later, we'll talk a little bit about the Winter Wonderland in Gibbons.
Apparel for Newswatch provided by TLA Development.
Blake, it's November, and I gotta say, your mustache is looking great.
Thanks, Marco. Let's be honest, though, I'd look like a thumb without it. How long is it taking to grow your beard?
About a couple months, but that's nothing compared to the 15 years that Movember has been in Canada. Movember is the leading men's health charity across the globe. They focus on raising funds and awareness on 3 pillars of men's health: prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and men's mental health. Anyone can get involved, and it's not just through growing a stash.
So outside of growing, you can take on the Move Challenge, which is taking on running or walking 60 kilometers over the month to raise awareness for the 60 men that we lose to suicide each and every hour globally. You can host a moment, as we call it. And, this year, obviously a little bit more virtual with COVID, a trivia night, maybe a work social, anything to get people together to do some fun and some good.
This year, participants can also mow your own way, a choose-your-own-adventure of collecting donations, which can include a physical challenge like polar dips, performing music for donors, or even knitting a 50-foot scarf. To get involved, go to ca.movember.com. With Mariah Carey currently warming up her vocal cords before the Christmas holidays, it's time to get into the winter spirit.
Absolutely. With entertainment and what's coming up in Edmonton, here's our Brandon Desmarais.
Thank you, gentlemen. Your transit commute on the Capital and Metro LRT lines are going to be more colorful with the help from the Nina Haggerty Foundation for the Arts and some creative Edmonton artists.
I sort of walked in one day and just decided that I just liked it, and I tried it for a couple of days.
Art in Transit is an initiative that the Nina Haggerty Center for the Arts started to highlight some creative efforts of 41 Edmonton artists with developmental disabilities.
If it works with you, you could come up with all projects and stuff. It's very fun to actually go there and just to relax and to actually cheers you up a bit.
The Art in Transit exhibition will continue to run until January. There are 41 unique posters located at every LRT station. The Nina encourages you to post these pieces of art on social media with the hashtag YegArts and the Nina Yeg. With winter setting in, one would think that outdoor dining will have to wait till the spring. But one local bistro is challenging that notion with igloo dining.
The service and the style of eating is super unique here. I don't think I've had anybody leave here without being wowed.
Owner Sibley Isaac thought of the idea when she was on a trip to New York. She experienced similar outdoor dining and thought this would be a great way to extend patio season in Edmonton.
When they experience the igloo, they taste some of our chef's specialties. It's fine dining food with French and Italian influence. We usually serve 3 or 4 courses with some of the best wines in Edmonton from the Inotri collection.
The igloos began running in February, and Tiramisu Bistro plans to run the experience for as long as possible. The igloos are equipped with space heaters inside and zip up to contain the heat. If you're looking to experience the magic of live theater but don't want to go to the Citadel, Festival Place is a great choice. Located in Sherwood Park, Festival Place boasts a full proscenium theater and can offer a cheaper alternative to the Citadel.
Well, one of the things that we're different in is that we only have one theater space. We've got hangs and we've got rigging and we've got an orchestra pit. So we only have one space, so we're not quite as large as the Citadel. But we are capable of putting on full-scale productions.
It's all been a community to get here. So to do it at a venue like that and then to have people experience Festival Place maybe for the first time, that's exciting for me too.
For showtimes, check out their website at festivalplace.ca/events. With winter setting in and Christmas right around the corner, why not take a trip out to Gibbons for a winter scene unlike any others in Edmonton? Founder of the not-for-profit Winter Wonder Forest, Steve Sandy started Winter Wonder Forest to help combat the affordable home crisis here in Alberta.
So in 2007, I started an initiative looking for ways to solve the affordable housing initiative. And so I've been working on affordable housing since 2007.
Last year, the event was a drive-through only due to COVID, but this year is a 7-acre walkthrough where you can meet Mr. and Mrs. Claus, as well as a train ride experience and ice sculptures. Tickets are currently on sale. So there's plenty to do this weekend. Marco, what's on the docket?
I know my car burns a bit of oil, but I'm actually willing to make that trip out to Gibbons for the Winter Wonder Forest.
Okay, and Blake, how about you? Are you looking to check out tiramisu?
Yeah, actually, my wife and I were looking at those igloos.
Okay, that sounds excellent. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us for our 5th NewsWatch show.
If you enjoyed it, you can check out more of us on our website at naitnewswatch.ca or on Twitter at NAIT NewsWatch. I'm Blake Fisher.
And I'm Marco Madron. Have a good night.